Welcome back to the Sports Information Podcast, Season 2, Episode 11. 2.11. We can't say Episode 209 anymore. Episode 205. It is officially a double digit, which I guess it was last week too, but it's a digit that you can't put an O in front of. So here we are, Episode 211. But not 211, just episode season 2, week 11. Welcome to it. We got our Instagram up on the screen here. That's the first order of business. We want you guys to jump on, follow us on Instagram. Thank you much. Per usual, we got our week 10 recap, previous week recap, our week ahead picks, which is week 11. And then we got some producer and listener questions. And we will go from there. We don't have much else on the slate. Going to be a quick one for you today, guys. Be a bit of analysis in there, though, so don't worry. We're not going to leave you totally out to dry. But, sorry, I had to make a quick tweak on the sheet here. Quick label check. All right, jumping straight over into the picks. Let's recap the last week here. Sorry, I thought we had this set. My apologies. All righty. And I think, yes, this will be, slight technical difficulty. This will be massively beneficial to the audience because the screen will not be so whitewashed now. You are welcome. Now, week 10 picks, week 10 recap. We hit pretty big. I mean, we went 11-3, missed a couple key games, but overall, we're now sitting at 101 correct picks, 46 missed games, and one draw with that week 3 draw that we always talk about. That's 68.5% on the year, 69 if you want to round up, 68.6 if you want to do the round up to the nearest decimal because it's 0.58. However, we're creeping up on that 70 to 75 mark, right where we want to be, chasing that obviously elite 80 mark that we were at last year. I don't know that that's replicable. We'd have to have some pretty big weeks here moving forward. And it just hasn't been that kind of year for football. The games haven't been as predictable as they once were. That's okay. Nonetheless, we found a way to come out on top this week. Starting with Thursday Night Football, not an exciting one. None of the primetime games were, in fact, this whole week. But we got this one right. As a matter of fact, we got all the primetime games right. Spoiler. Falcons at Indy. Not the prettiest win. Definitely a pretty gritty win. Not the prettiest win, but a pretty gritty win. Ooh, that's not good for the brand. However, this pick is good for the brand, and I love to see the Colts keep rolling. Daniel Jones is starting to kind of show some regression and obviously some fall back to earth in his play. He's not putting up a total light show with no mistakes and being uber efficient. He's kind of fallen back a bit, but Jonathan Taylor is still the best running back in football. Our defense has only gotten better. And by the way, Sauce Gardner had an awesome debut and shut down his assignment through and through. Held Drake London to minuscule numbers, especially given the talent that Drake London is. So, yeah, not worried about the Colts at all. This one was shocking. I don't think anybody had this on their bingo card. Not only did Miami win the game, they won it handily, and they won it by controlling it start to finish. So just not foreseeable divisional hiccup for the Bills, and they certainly are on the hot seat as to can they still get the number 1 seed over the Patriots. Jacksonville at Houston. Got this one right. Big time. And again, Trevor Lawrence, another one of those quarterbacks who had a hot start like Daniel Jones after a history of just mediocre play. Now, he certainly had a history better than Daniel Jones did. And he's not on a new team, but he's starting to regress. The fact that they were winning sometimes not in spite of him or despite him, they weren't winning because of him. Now they're starting to lose games because he's not holding up his end of the bargain. New York at Chicago, got it right. Barn burner. Hate to see Dart go down. And holy smokes, Caleb Williams, clutch game after clutch game. I'm real impressed with what Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson are doing in Chicago, and they're certainly in the hunt for a wild card position in the NFC. I would say they're one of 3 teams probably, and they're probably the least likely to get it, but they're in the hunt for it. New Orleans at Carolina, didn't get it right. I don't know what you want me to tell you. The Saints were bound to pick up a win here or there. I guess this was foreseeable that, a bad team, a really bad team could beat a bad team. Sure. I didn't pick it. Whoops. Whoop, whoop. One of the 2 dogs that we picked this week. Spoiler, we got both our dog picks right. They weren't the only dogs that won. Obviously, the Dolphins won, the Saints won. But we got this one right. And this was a big one for us. And the Patriots are obviously well on their way to doubling their win total from last year. They're 1 away. Check that as a good preseason take. Again, didn't have many good ones. So we're going to ride the ones that we did get. And Tampa also on their way to 10 wins despite this loss, I believe. Now, they do have to split with Buffalo and Los Angeles, not mathematically, but just to feel better and good about it. But I think that they might be able to pull that off. I don't know. We'll talk more about that later, because now that I'm paying more attention to that in my head, I might have some rethinking to do on one of our picks this week. So we'll get to that in just a moment. Staying on week 10, Cleveland at New York. Ooh, Cleveland. You needed to get that one. You were a road favorite when you probably shouldn't have been, but you needed to get that to kind of feel good about anything, and you didn't. And I got that pick wrong because of it. So thanks for that, guys. Baltimore at Minnesota. Give me my internet connection back, please. Baltimore at Minnesota. Got it right. Again, we don't believe in J.J. McCarthy here. Well, half of us on the pod don't. The producer kind of on in the corner of J.J. McCarthy. Sort of. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's certainly more in his corner than I am. I faded him. We believe in the Lamar comeback, and we believe in the resurgence of that Baltimore defense. Maybe not enough to make a deep playoff run, maybe not reaching the AFC Championship, but certainly enough to make a push at winning the division and a wild card spot, and enough to beat the NFC, who, by the way, Lamar just owns. Roger Goodell owns the AFC and some of the rights to the NFC, but it's Lamar's. It's Lamar's. Arizona at Seattle. Guys, Seattle is legit. They are one of the 2 best teams in the NFC. And wow, Sam Darnold looks like one of the top 5 or 6 best quarterbacks in the NFL on any given week. It's unbelievable to watch. Jackson Smith-Njigba is an elite alpha. We got that right in the wide receiver tiers. Wow. Los Angeles at San Francisco. Yes. We picked the Rams. That's the other best team in the NFC, by the way. Picked the Rams here. What Kyle Shanahan is doing with Mac Jones is remarkable, but the Rams are maybe the best team in football altogether, and Matt Stafford is playing at an elite level, like top quarterback in the league level. Puka Nakua is back and healthy, catching touchdowns. Devontae Adams still looks good. Kyron Williams is more than serviceable. The defense is awesome. Ruh-roh. Sean McVay, leading it all. So, all right. Well, Detroit out of Washington, got that one right as well. We just kind of rolled through the last part of this week here. Pittsburgh at Los Angeles Chargers, got it right. Philly at Green Bay, that was our other dog of the week pick. Another road dog, got it right. I think we should get double points for road dog correct picks. And again, another primetime game that just sucked. It was boring to watch. And it wasn't even like it was I didn't feel like it was awesome defensive play that made you ooh and ah and kind of wince in your seat because it was like big hits or near big hits that were big pass breakups. It was just kind of like energyless football being played, and I didn't enjoy it. So, but that's our 11-3 week 10. we're stoked on that. We're happy to be back in the upper echelon of the 60s. Not that we fell that low. We were at like 67% before this week. But we're climbing back up towards 70%. We want to be right at 75% on the year. 3 out of 4 games right on an average basis. Our must-see TV picks last week. I said New England at Tampa, which was good. Oh, I said Caleb versus Jackson Dart, which was good, despite Dart going out. Hate to see that. And then I said Los Angeles Rams at San Francisco, which was good. 3 for 3 on must-see TV. Not that we're keeping track of that. That's just kind of a fun bit on the show. All right, diving into Week 11. Coming up on Thursday Night Football. This episode should be up and ready for you guys Thursday morning. Definitely by Thursday afternoon, though. Won't leave you guys hanging, I promise. I know that's been done before. However, this week it won't happen, and my internet connection is giving me problems. And I think we had that problem last week. Anyway, New York Jets at New England. Give me the Patriots. They look like the best team in the AFC East, which is bizonkers to say. And that's just the theme of this NFL season. Bizonkers. Put it on a t-shirt. They might even cover that spread. They're that good right now. And Drake May is also that good. So kudos to them. Coach Vrabel, definitely on the podium for Coach of the Year. On the podium next to others. I'm not saying he's the crowned Coach of the Year. He might be already in a lot of people's eyes. I think there's still a chance that a guy like Steichen or a couple others in the league could go and win it. But he's certainly at the top of the list with those guys. Washington at Miami. This might be a gutsy pick, but some dog has to win, and it's overseas. The Dolphins, I feel like they just don't travel well, which let's put some fact behind that if there is any. Let's check their schedule this year and see what are they on the road. If we can get that up. Here we are. So the Dolphins have lost to the Colts on the road. They lost. Well, that was a home loss. They lost to the Bills on the road. They lost to the Panthers on the road. They lost to the Browns on the road. They beat the Falcons on the road. So of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away games this year, they have lost 4 of them. So I like my chances here. Oh, wait, never mind. They're a home favorite. Well, they're a home team, but that it is an away game. Excuse me. That's what's throwing me off here. It is an away game because it's traveling overseas. So they're not at home, but they are the home team on paper. I'm still taking them as a loss because I think the Commanders will travel better. I think Mariota's been playing fine. Not good. Not great. Fine. But I think Washington has enough to get this job done. I know Miami's been playing well. I know they've had a couple big wins recently, but they're not an unbeatable team, and they certainly can't keep this up. It's a charade. Don't fall for it. Give me Washington here at 9:30 a.m. in Europe. Green Bay at New York. No Jackson Dart. Just fired Dayball. No Scatabo. No Malik Neighbors. Give me the Green Bay Packers. Los Angeles at Jacksonville. Give me the Chargers here. Again, I don't think Jacksonville is going to continue to be even mildly consistent or even close to being what they were at the beginning of the season. And the way they started, it was a hot start. It was a cool start. Hope Jacksonville fans got their excitement out of the way because it's going to start to temper down. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. I want to pick Cincinnati so bad. So bad. But I can't do it. I can't pick against Mike Tomlin at home against a bad Cincinnati team where Joe Burrow is not quite coming back yet. And even if he was, that's still not the problem because they had fine quarterback play with Joe Flacco, who, by the way, is out this week. Maybe. I just can't pick Cincinnati in this spot, man. Can't do it. Want to, but can't. Tampa Bay at Buffalo. Ooh, you want to pick Tampa Bay here, huh? Well, let's walk through it. No, I actually have written down Buffalo. I haven't made a pick yet. I have both teams written down. I have Buffalo at Tampa, or Tampa at Buffalo, sorry. I have Buffalo favorite, Tampa not favorite. But we need to look here at their schedule because if we don't like them to win out post-Rams game, yes. What is their record? So their record right now is 6-3. They need 4 more wins. And they have 6 games left. The Bills, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers. They definitely can win out. But all of those are divisional games with the exception of the Cardinals. And all of those divisional opponents would love to play spoiler and maybe knock you out of the playoffs just for fun. I think the Bucs would find a wild card spot even if they ended up with 9 wins. But good Lord, man. It's going to be hard to pick them against Buffalo, and it's going to be hard to pick them against the Rams, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it this week against Buffalo because Buffalo needs the game, I think, just as much, if not more. Yeah, they're also 6-3. Oh, what's the NFL playoff standings right now? So let's throw this up on the board for the audience. Here is the NFL playoff picture as stands. There we go. We scrolled before it loaded. Okay, we got the Colts at number 1 in the AFC. Broncos, Patriots. So the Patriots right now are obviously winning that division, so that's why they're there. Steelers. Those are your divisional winners. And here's your wild card teams. I don't think the Jags maintain it. The Bills are already in it. The Chargers might maintain it. Yeah. But so they've got the game on the Chiefs. I mean, they've got the games on Buffalo might fall behind here. Cuz who's left on Buffalo's schedule? Let's check that out. Buffalo Bills schedule. Bucks, Texans, and this is at home versus the Bucks, at Texans, at Pittsburgh, home for Cincinnati, at New England, at Cleveland. So I'm going to say they're beating the Bills. Steelers and Bengals, you'd like to think they'd get both of those, but they could split those. And then Patriots and Browns. 1, 2. Wow. I mean, it's going to be a tough one, honestly. It's but I'm not going to be able to pick against the Bills here. It's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be an easy win for either side, I don't think. I think Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen are going to have a shootout. So I'm excited. I have a lot of thoughts in my brain. That's why I'm kind of starting to slow down with my speech here. I'm trying to process it all, make sure it all comes out coherently. So apologies on that one. It was a little bit of a rough ride. Houston at Tennessee. We're taking Houston. Tennessee looks abysmal all year. We're not going to – I don't think we've picked them ever. Did we pick them in any of our weeks? That would be a fun thing to look back on. We'll do that another time. We're picking Houston, long story short. Chicago at Minnesota, another dog pick of the week. We're going with Chicago. Despite loving the Brian Flores defense, I just really don't like J.J. McCarthy. Or the alternative, Old Man Wentz. And that offense just hasn't clicked this year. And Jettas hasn't gotten the the je ne sais quoi that he's gotten every other year. He hasn't put that on, or it hasn't been available to him to put on. So I can't rock with Minnesota here, even at home, even as a field goal favorite in a divisional game. I got to go with the Bears. They're on a hot streak. Ben Johnson looks awesome. Caleb Williams looks awesome. They've got it. The Bears got it. Carolina at Atlanta. We're rocking with Atlanta. Shouldn't be a problem, I hope. Wouldn't think. San Francisco at Arizona. I'll take Mac Jones under Kyle Shanahan over Kyler or Jacoby Brissett. So give me the 49ers here. And CMC is just healthy and continues to wreck the league. Seattle at Los Angeles. This is the must-see matchup of the week, as both these teams are the best in their division. Both these teams are the best in the NFC and in their division. It's winner take all, basically. It's gonna be an epic showdown, guys. I don't care that it's not a primetime game. I don't care if you have to illegally stream it and you give your computer 8 viruses. Do it. Promise it'll be worth it. Just watch the game. This is another one that hold on, I need to take Tampa off of here because we chose Buffalo. This is another one that we've got both teams on the sheet here still because we haven't officially made the pick. I'm going to rock with Los Angeles. I'm a fan of them at home. I think McVay's ready for this. That Seattle defense is obviously going to be tough, but I like the Rams better as a whole, and I trust Stafford more than I trust Darnold. I know what Darnold has been all year long, but I know what Stafford has also been all year long. So let's look at who they are for their career in big moments and in big spots. Stafford shows up. Darnold kind of cracks under pressure sometimes. Give me Matt Stafford. And he's got the better coach. I don't know who has the better receiver. I think we've got the better running. I don't know who has the better running back. So maybe the deciding factor here in my brain ultimately is Stafford versus Darnold. So give me Stafford. Kansas City at Denver. Give me Kansas City here. I just want to make sure of something. Sorry. Producer left the room, and I just needed to make sure that it wasn't an emergency and that I didn't have a text from him explaining anything. Hope he's all right. Maybe just a bathroom break. Kansas City at Denver. We're going to go with the Chiefs in Mile High. I think the Chiefs need it more. I obviously trust the Chiefs more. I think they're a better team. And if they hope to make the playoffs, they've got to win games like this, divisional games. They've also just got to win games. Give me the Chiefs. Baltimore at Cleveland. We're going to rock with Baltimore again. I know that's a really good defense. Apologies if you can hear my dog whining in the background. Baltimore at Cleveland. Lamar needs it. It's a divisional game. And the Browns just aren't a good team, guys. Like, I know the defense is good. I know they find ways to win a couple games that they shouldn't this year. I think it's more about how those teams gave away the game to the Browns. Because, I mean, the Browns just dropped a game to the Jets, right? So, you can't trust the Browns. You can't pick them. So, we're going to pick Baltimore here. And Baltimore should be picked. Detroit at Philly. It's another road dog of the week. We're taking Detroit. I think they're the better team this year. I think they're firing on all cylinders right now. I think Philly's just begging to lose games. And there's something weird going on there, man. Like all the A.J. Brown stuff, the way that the defense just isn't what it was and what it should be. It's clearly taken a step back from last year. That's why they had to bring in Jalen Phillips, who, by the way, has been a great addition. He's been phenomenal. I just can't pick them against a team like Detroit, so I'm going with the Lions. Dallas at Las Vegas. Oh, man. Give me the Cowboys. It's hard to pick them, but it's even harder to pick the Raiders, I think, and the Cowboys need a good win. I mean, they've made moves to compete this year, so they clearly hope and believe and think that they're somewhat alive. They're in the 11th spot. they're 3-5-1. I mean, they're one game out from the Vikings, and if the Vikings lose this week and they win, they'll be right there. The Panthers could easily fall out, and a lot of people don't think that the Bears are going to maintain that spot. The Eagles are sitting comfy as the number 1 seed. I feel like there's more for the Eagles to look past and kind of look over, and there's more room for error, so they're going to ease up and be a little more laxed, and there's a lot of drama going on there. So we're going to go with Dallas over Las Vegas, and we're taking Detroit over Philly. That's our Week 11 picks. It's our Week 10 recap done. Again, be sure to like, follow on Instagram. And we are over to the producer for listener and producer questions.
Okay. No listener questions, just producer questions.
Fire.
Going to
Screw
the
listeners.
Yeah, I agree. Follow us. Leave comments so I don't have to come up with all of them on my own. Okay. Going to the Giants. After the firing of Dable, what do you think's the realistic peak for that organization this year?
The realistic peak for that organization this year. Well, let's see. What are they right now? Giants.
They are 2-8, I believe.
Wow. Heading into a game with the Packers. They are 2-8. Yeah. I mean, good Lord. Their ceiling with 6 games left, they've got the Packers, the Giants, the Patriots, the Commanders, the Vikings, the Raiders. I think their ceiling is 5 wins because they're not beating the Lions and they're not beating the Patriots. Certainly not without Dayball and Dart. Probably not without Dayball because Dart was already super bummed out losing Scat. That's his boy. They hit it off together as rookies. Like, that was the energy. And Dart liked Dayball. And Dayball liked Dart. And now you just fired that guy. So he's clearly going to be just kind of gut checked, little lifeless compared to what he was, which is natural. It's normal. So yeah, I would say 5 games is their max, and that's if they can beat the Commanders, the Vikings, and the Raiders. Beating the Vikings isn't off the table. I'd say it's a lot less likely than people might think, but maybe people are right with me on that in the sense that there are only 2 real gettable games left are the Commanders and the Raiders. I'd say that, again, 5 wins is their ceiling, and just an awesome rest of season from Jackson Dart if and when he returns. But golly, man, the Giants' job has got to be pretty attractive, I would think. With that D-line, that quarterback, you got Malik Neighbors to look forward to. Scadabo's concerning because that is a nasty ankle injury, and his career, based on his play style, is probably going to be pretty short. But shit, for the foreseeable future, it's an exciting and enticing job.
They said his rehab was going to be nothing out of the ordinary. It was only like a 6-month time frame.
Yeah, not that I think it's a lengthy recovery, right? Like breaks are pretty easy to take care of, repair, and get them back from. But it's just a nasty break and an ankle. Not that Scat's a horizontal left-right make you miss kind of guy, but I don't know. Just a running back like injuring an ankle.
He's very injury prone because he's going to, run like he's mad at the ground.
Yeah, there's neck injury concern. There's back injury concern. There's obviously head injury concern.
But he didn't just break his ankle. I mean, he dislocated it. He ruptured a ligament.
Yeah.
And he did something else that was crazy, which I didn't even know. I thought he just dislocated it. Okay, moving on. Marvin Harrison's out once again, this time with an appendix problem. I feel like that's just a crazy thing to get right in the middle of your second NFL season.
Yeah, I wonder if his appendix ruptured or something.
I think it did because they said he had surgery.
Okay.
But after a year and a couple games seeing him in action this year, what do you think? What do you think his goal is in year 3? Do you think he can make an All-Pro team? Do you think he can make a Pro Bowl? Where do you think he lands? Looking into year 3.
I think that an all-pro team is a little lofty for year 3, given the fact that we don't know what his quarterback play is going to look like. I'm just checking here to see. It says emergency surgery. Clicked on a pop-up ad. Wall Street Journal. No. I'm going to assume if it was an emergency surgery, appendix surgery, appendicitis, ruptured appendix. I'll look more into that later, and the audience can too on their own time. Year 3, all-pro team, Pro Bowl team, probably off the board. Year 3 breakout year on the board and needs to happen. Has to happen. He looks a lot better he's looked a lot better since the bye week. He caught 2 touchdowns, 1 in each game. Jacoby Brissett seems to throw him the ball more than Kyler Murray ever did, which is huge, especially as a fantasy owner. But the Cardinals need to make changes internally. If you still are rocking with John Gruden, Kyler Murray can't be in the building next year because there's obviously a disconnect there, and that's not their they aren't each other's guys. That's not Kyler's coach, and that's not coach's quarterback. I think both need to go, or at least the OC needs to get changed up. Something massive needs to happen there. Golly. Yeah. It frustrates me a ton to talk about him, man. I want him to be good so bad. Pardon me. I want him to be great so bad. Oh, I literally have a Cardinals helmet up on display. We're red and blue over here because of you, Marvin.
As it should be. That's why I brought
I have
it
a
up.
monkey down there named Marvin. I got that guy, named him after Marvin Sr. when the Colts won the Super Bowl. My grandma took me to Build-A-Bear and was like, get whatever you want. I picked out a little monkey, decked him out in Colts gear. He used to have the pants and the helmet, and those got lost over the years. But he still got the jersey. Unbelievable.
We just got in the way back machine.
Wayback Machine.
We were way back. Okay, last one I got.
All right, let's hear it.
Moving on to the Eagles. This is, a personal thought of mine that I think should happen, and I don't know if anybody else would agree with me, but I feel like some out there would. But what do you feel about the Eagles moving on from A.J. Brown in any kind of capacity?
I think if you don't win the Super Bowl this year, you have to. Because here's the deal. You came into the season as the defending champs, and probably, in most people's cases, I don't remember what the preseason odds were, but I believe they were the favorites. And in most people's minds, I think they were the favorites. Let's Google that. Who were the preseason NFL favorites? Can you find that over there quicker than I can? Let's see.
Preseason to win Super Bowl LX is Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep. Awesome. I'm seeing Eagles, Bills, and Ravens all with plus 700.
Yeah, and then
And the
Chiefs
Chiefs were slightly
following with
behind.
800.
Okay. So, yeah, again, if you don't win the Super Bowl, you have to, especially given all the drama this year, given how unhappy he's been, how underused he's been. And by the way, I don't buy this bullshit narrative about, well, they went to him in the biggest spot in the game last night. Well, they went to him when it mattered, and that's supposed to appease your number one receiver as you go to him in those big moments, because that's when you would want to go to him normally, and that's when he would want you to go to him normally. Yes, but he also wants you to use him throughout the game so that in that moment he's not going into it cold or unexpectedly even because you hadn't gone to him all game. Nonetheless, I think he kind of over-exaggerated earlier in the season. I'm not getting enough targets. He was getting like 8 and 6 targets a game in the early parts of the season. But now they're not throwing him the ball, and now they're not using him in the capacity that was agreed upon when they made his contract and brought him in and all these things. So, yeah, if you don't win, you got to move him. If you do win, it's tricky because, man, you're winning games and you're winning Super Bowls. And if you're A.J. Brown, grow up. Like, if you go win a Super Bowl, it's in large part because you were there and you demanded attention from the defense and opened things up for others. And that has to be enough at the end of the day when you're winning Super Bowls. If you're not winning Super Bowls, I get it. to some extent. But how much of the problem is he? That's my next. I'm not in those locker rooms. I'm not in those conversations. So that's the hard part. I don't have any inside sources. I got to rely on these bozos in the media. But shit, man. If you don't win, I think it's tough to keep them. So that's it?
Yeah, unless you want to, just take a moment and say that Jonathan Taylor has 15 rush touchdowns and the only player in the league with over 1,000 rushing yards right now. Shout out.
Is him? Yeah, I mean.
He's got the Triple Crown right now if you count carries.
Attempts?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the running back Triple Crown. That's awesome. He, at one point, he was not leading in attempts, I think. So that's where he was short. But nonetheless, yeah, shout out JT. He's the man. He's our boy. He's carrying us to glory this year. He's going to carry us to the AFC Championship game. Maybe. I'm not ready to commit to that take, but I'm starting to, as a fan, believe in that take. So,
I mean, he's also leading everyone in fantasy by at least 40 points.
Yeah, and I've got him in my main fantasy league, my dynasty league, my big one. Shout out. That's so awesome. Stoked.
Just rub it in for all the bad managers like myself.
Stokely, but no Brandon. That's a deep dig for the Colts fans. All right. Like, share, subscribe to the pod. Please leave comments. And more importantly, follow us on Instagram. Run up those numbers. We're at 718. Let's get to 730 by next week. We're 12 away. Come on, folks. Help us out. All right. Season 2, Episode 11, Sports Information Podcast. We're out.
Peace.